Episode 58. The past fights back. The past does not return all at once. If it did, the system would correct it immediately. Instead, it leaks. Ethan notices the first leak as familiarity where none should exist. He is walking through a street he has never lived on, passing storefronts that mean nothing to him, when a sensation settles in his chest. Recognition. Not emotional. Structural. His body slows slightly, as if approaching a known turn before his mind understands why. He stops. Nothing looks wrong. The street is narrow, uneven, older than the newer grid that surrounds it. Brick buildings lean inward like they have grown tired of standing apart. Windows reflect the afternoon light at an angle that feels practiced. Ethan frowns. At 3:07, the minute passes bluntly, no finesse left in it. And yet, something is wrong. He takes a step forward and feels it then. A memory without content. His foot lands on a crack in the pavement that his body avoids automatically. Not carefully. Instinctively. Ethan freezes. That reflex should not exist. He has never been here. He bends slightly and looks down. The crack is real. The avoidance was not imagined. His body knew where to step. The past has surfaced. Not as an event. As muscle memory. Ethan straightens slowly. This is not rebellion. Rebellion would require intent. This is resistance. Passive. Mechanical. Like pressure stored in a material that was bent too long and now refuses to remain flat. He walks forward again carefully. Each step produces more dissonance. A lamppost that he walks around without thinking. A doorway his shoulder subtly adjusts to avoid. A stretch of sidewalk his pace changes for. None of this is conscious. The past is not telling him anything. It is using him. At the end of the street, Ethan stops and turns around. The buildings look the same, but the present feels thinner here, like it has been laid over something denser and is beginning to tear. 3:07, the hum returns. Weak, uneven. Time is not correcting. It is hesitating. The system registers the anomaly but cannot classify it cleanly. Because nothing has been added, something has resisted removal. Ethan understands the danger immediately. Erasure was never clean. It was layered, and layers can separate. He turns back and walks the street again. This time, a smell reaches him. Oil, old metal, a workshop. The smell should not be here. The shops are all closed, repurposed, converted into cafes and offices. Yet the scent lingers, faint but specific. His stomach tightens. Smell bypasses narrative. Smell is history without permission. The past is not returning because someone wants it to. It is returning because the present can no longer sustain the compression. 3:07, Ethan hears a sound that does not belong. A hammer striking metal. Once distant. He spins. The street is empty. The sound echoes again, softer, like it is arriving late. Latency. The bleed has reached backward. Ethan walks faster now, pulse steady but alert. This is not dangerous yet. Not until restoration crosses a threshold. Partial restoration is survivable. Complete restoration would shatter coherence. He reaches a storefront with a darkened window and pauses. In the glass, he sees his reflection. But for a fraction of a second, another image overlaps it. A younger man, grease-stained hands, eyes focused on something precise. The image flickers and vanishes. Ethan staggers back. That is not his memory. Or is it? The reflection stabilizes. The present asserts itself. Barely. Ethan presses his palm against the glass. The surface is cool, solid. But beneath it he feels something else. A pressure pushing outward. Not from behind the glass. From before it. The system has removed too much context too quickly. The past is not fighting to be restored. It is pushing back because it was never fully gone. 3:07, the silence fractures. Ethan hears overlapping sounds now. Footsteps that do not sync with his own. Voices speaking words he cannot make out. A radiostatic burst that fades before resolving. The present is losing exclusivity. He pulls his hand away and steps back into the street. People pass him now unaware. They do not react to the distortions. Because they are not anchored here. Ethan is. He has carried erased weight for too long. His stability made him a weak point. The system routed through him. Now the past is using the same path. A woman brushes past him and mutters an apology. Her voice is doubled. One tone older. One younger. Ethan closes his eyes briefly. This is what historical resistance looks like. Not a revolution. Not a revelation. Just facts refusing to stay buried. At 3:07, the minute stutters again. Not enough to stop. Enough to smear. Ethan understands the cost now. Partial restoration does not give you back what was lost. It degrades what replaced it. The present cannot carry two timelines cleanly. It will fray. He turns away from the street and walks quickly toward the newer district. With each step away, the sensations lessen. The sounds thin. The smells fade. By the time he reaches a busy intersection, the present feels thicker again. Anchored, he stops and breathes steadily. The leak has receded. For now. But he knows it will return. Not here. Not the same way. Erased events are not passive. They resist compression the way matter resists infinite density. The more the system tightens, the more the past pushes outward. At 3:07, Ethan looks at the crowd moving around him. They feel solid. Single. For now. He understands the function of this episode clearly. The past is not rebelling. It is asserting conservation. Nothing removed without residue. Nothing erased without pressure. Time can cauterize the future, but the past is heavier, and it has begun to fight back. The city does not remember all at once. It remembers unevenly. Ethan realizes this the next morning when his commute takes longer even though nothing is delayed. Trains arrive on schedule. Signals change when they should. People move with purpose. And yet, the space between events feels thick. Not slow, dense. He steps onto the platform and feels his body angle toward a door that will not open for another 30 seconds. He does not consciously decide this. His feet simply know where to stand. That knowledge should not exist. At 3:07, the minute lands hard, like a weight set down without adjustment. The platform flickers, not visually, but contextually. The advertisement beside him displays a product that hasn't been manufactured in decades. The image blinks, corrects, then blinks again. No one reacts. Ethan exhales slowly. Partial restoration is spreading. Not through memory, through habit. That is why it is so dangerous. Memories can be corrected. Habits live below correction thresholds. On the train, a man hums softly to himself. The tune is wrong. Not off-key obsolete. Ethan recognizes it without knowing how. A jingle from a factory that closed before he was born. The man stops humming suddenly, confused. Sorry, he mutters to no one. The past brushed the surface and withdrew. Ethan grips the pole as the train accelerates. The motion feels familiar in the wrong way. Like his body remembers a version of this line that curved more sharply, jolted harder, demanded a different balance. He has never ridden that version. But something in him has. At 3:07, the hum returns, thin, strained, indecisive. Time does not correct the past. Contains it. And containment has limits. Ethan disembarks downtown and walks toward his office. The street layout changes subtly between blocks. A corner he expects to be wide is narrow. A storefront is recessed deeper than it should be. Urban memory is reasserting itself. The present was built on top of what came before. Now the weight is shifting. Inside the building, the elevator opens on the wrong floor. Not malfunctioning. Reverting. The panel reads B1. There is no basement level on the directory. Ethan steps out anyway. The air is colder here. Older. Concrete walls show outlines where pipes once ran. The lights hum at a frequency that prickles his skin. This place should not be accessible. Yet here it is. At 3:07, the minute fractures. Not stutters. Overlaps. Ethan hears footsteps echoing down the corridor ahead. Heavy. Purposeful. He smells oil again. Metal. Heat. He does not follow the sound. He does not need to. He knows what is happening. The past is not being restored. It is reasserting pressure. The system compressed it too tightly, too fast to maintain future stability. Now it is decompressing sideways. The cost is present coherence. Ethan steps back into the elevator. The doors close reluctantly, like they are being pulled away from something that wants to remain exposed. The elevator rises. When it opens, the modern office floor returns. Bright lights, clean surfaces, familiar sounds. Too familiar. Ethan walks to his desk and sits. His hands move to open a file he has never worked on. Not curiosity, muscle memory. He stops himself and pulls his hands back. The impulse fades slowly, like pressure equalizing. This is the danger zone. If restoration completes an action, the present will adapt around it. That is how old systems reassert themselves. By working. At 3:07, a colleague approaches him, looking unsettled. "Did you move the filing cabinets?" she asks. "No," Ethan says immediately. She frowns. "They were closer together yesterday. I almost hit my elbow this morning." Ethan nods. Spatial memory conflict. The building remembers a denser configuration. The present is loosening. By lunchtime, the city is showing more seams. A bus route loops incorrectly, dropping passengers one stop earlier than expected. A pedestrian bridge echoes as if hollow underneath, though inspections last month found nothing wrong. The past is not attacking. It is reclaiming tolerances. At 3:07, Ethan stands by a window and watches a construction site across the street. Workers pause mid-task, confused. One of them scratches his head. "This isn't lining up," he says. "The measurements keep coming out wrong." They check again. Same result. The building plan is correct. The ground is not. Ethan understands now. The system adjusted the future too aggressively. Now the past is forcing recalibration. Not rebellion. Conservation. What was compressed must expand somewhere. That expansion happens where resistance is lowest. In the present. By late afternoon, the bleed becomes harder to ignore. A news alert flashes on phones. Archival data discrepancies discovered in municipal records. The wording is careful, sanitized, but Ethan hears the truth beneath it. History is asserting itself through documentation now. Paper resists erasure better than memory. At 3:07, the hum spikes and drops abruptly. Time is no longer hesitating. It is choosing. Contain the future or stabilize the past. Cannot do both at this compression rate. Ethan leaves work early, drawn back toward the old street where it started. He knows better than to linger, but observation matters now. The system is being forced to reveal priorities. The street looks the same, but the air is heavier, thicker. He steps onto the pavement and feels the ground push back slightly, like it remembers a different load. At 3:07, the present tears, not visibly, but audibly. A full sound emerges this time. Metal striking metal. Not distant. Nearby. A door slams open in a building that should be sealed. Inside, he sees it. Not clearly. A workshop in partial overlay. Machines half present. People moving through each other without collision. No one looks at him. They are not invading the present. They are occupying their own. The system cannot collapse this without collapsing everything around it. So it allows partial coexistence. The cost is coherence. Ethan backs away slowly. As he does, the overlay fades. The door slams shut. The street reasserts itself. But the damage remains. He feels it in his bones. The present has been compromised. At 3:07, Ethan breathes out and names it silently. The past is not fighting to win. It is fighting to exist. And existence is non-negotiable. He understands now why Season 4 must escalate. Because resistance has emerged from the one place time cannot discipline without undoing itself. History. Time can optimize futures, can cauterize possibilities, but it cannot erase what already carried weight. The past is heavier than the future, and now it is pushing back. Not as memory, not as rebellion, as mass. The city shudders subtly as if settling onto an older foundation. Ethan turns away and walks toward newer ground, knowing it will not matter soon. At 3:07, the minute passes with a dull thud. No silence, no hum, just impact. The past has asserted itself, and the present will never be as clean again.